So I guess today we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about Taters Inc. and we're going to discuss upgrades. And where else are you going to get a good potato while you're talking about upgrades? Well, of course you're going to get that here at Taters. So let's start. If we were to do the licensing for the other equipment, the old equipment, for the upgrades, we'd have to do approximately 276 different computers or that many licenses. That's going to be at a cost of roughly about $110,000 to upgrade these computers to the correct Windows 10 installs. These would have to be clean installs because they're not upgradable. So in other words, we can't go from Windows XP to Windows 10. We'd have to go from Windows XP to Windows 7 and 8 and then up to 10, which very time consuming, very expensive to get all these licenses and to do these upgrades. And again, if we were to do that, we would have to back up all the data on the computers and store it, and then of course restore it afterwards to bring everything up to date. Some of the equipment is not up to standards for Windows 10 and will not run on Windows 10 effectively, so it would have to be replaced. Like the Toshibas for the IT department would not run Windows 10, so we would have to replace those computers also. And probably in order to have these others, some of the others wouldn't run also. So let's move on. Ubuntu 16.04 will run on the current hardware. The servers could be virtualized for cost savings, and old servers could become backup servers. In other words, we could go ahead and take the servers that we are currently have and are running, get one new server, which we would, basically be way under the cost just in the licensing alone to buy a new server, and buy a Windows data center for that server, and then we could virtualize all the other servers and save a lot of money. And we would have these other servers, the old servers, could be used as backups to go ahead and run backup solutions and things of that sort to keep our company running in a good virtual manner. Desktops would run just like before, only they would cost less with licensing because Ubuntu features built in with Microsoft charges and all would be quite expensive if we needed to relicense all the software that we have on those computers to match what would run on Windows 10 platforms. With Ubuntu, a lot of these features come standard, like the Word and Excel and things of that nature, Visio, and the list goes on. There's many other programs that come standard with Ubuntu that are not standard on Microsoft Windows 10. We would have to purchase those to run and to make them run. And again, the cost on that is going to be phenomenal in comparison. Some of those apps and this is just a comparison here for you, like the LibreOffice Writer is Microsoft Word, the Office Calculator is Excel, Office Impress is basically PowerPoint, Office Draw is Visio, and as you can see, there are many other apps that are free and available and supported on this platform, and that we would not have to go ahead and purchase those licenses to use them, and they work as well as the Microsoft versions, in my opinion, that is. We have to look at also the labor to install all this onto the equipment. We'd have to take the time for upgrading the equipment, creating a timeline for the rollout. All of these would be incurred for an upgrade to Windows 10, if not even a little more extensive. If we're going to upgrade, then we would have to literally go from XP to 7, from 7 to 8, from 8 to 8.1, from 8.1 to 10. And of course, that's going to take a lot more time than just going straight over to Ubuntu 16.4. And the upgrades, of course, a lot of times the Windows 10 is not going to run on the older systems. Ubuntu 16.4 will run on the old systems. We would not have to replace that equipment. So that's going to save us a lot of money, time, and effort. And of course, some of the apps that I've installed on the new Ubuntu, which I'm going to go ahead and preview for you in just a moment. And one is Chromium, the other one was OwnCloud, which would be our own cloud server for the business, and Evolution, which is basically Outlook. So let's go ahead and let me run those up for you real quick, and we'll come back to our conclusion, okay? So let's go ahead and let's start up what we need. Give me just a second here, and we'll get that going for you. I should have probably started this up while we were talking, but I neglected to do so. But let's go ahead and we're going to run up the Tater Ubuntu, which is what I call this virtual machine, so that we can go ahead and preview it and show you what it was and help you understand more or less what this actually does. So let's just give it a minute and we will get this going for you, okay? I'm going to go ahead and just pause this until we get the other one up. Okay, now that we have the virtual machine up and running, I'll give you a quick preview of it. As you can see, we have the LibreWriter, which is basically Word, and it has a lot of the same features that Word has, and works just as well, I think. As you can see, it has everything from spell check on down, and it has pretty much the same style as Word does. Let's go from Word and let's go ahead and let's go over to the Calc app, which is actually Excel. And as you can see, it's basically the same thing again. This shows you that it's really compatible. It's going to be really close. And I think, we will check this, but you can save it as, and I think you can actually go into as an Excel spreadsheet, which is right here. Okay. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to our next app, which is right here, which is basically our PowerPoint slides. So again, as you can see, this is PowerPoint, and it's just a Libre version of it. Some of the other apps that I have installed on here was Chromium, which is our internet connection, which allows us to go on the internet, which is basically Chrome for Ubuntu, and it works just fine. I found that it allows you to save your bookmarks. It's basically Chrome, but again, it's Google Chrome for Ubuntu. And as you can see, it comes up, you get Google, you get all the same things that you've always had. The next thing I've done is I've installed what they call OwnCloud, or an OwnCloud server, and I've done that in a few locations so that when I connect, I'm connecting up. And I actually now have the cloud on this machine, and I can just go to the cloud and I can store my files on our personal cloud server, which we can set up here and really make Taters our own enclosed, and it would be a lot more secure than putting it out on somebody else's cloud. We'd have it here for ourselves. And finally, we have Evolution, which is our basically our email. So we would have the ability to have our own email server right here in-house. It works basically the same as any other email does. We can actually print from it. We can do new emails. We can also download all of our emails or contacts, memos, and all that, and they will transfer over from one to the other. So basically, that's our machine. That's what we've got going. I'm going to go ahead and bring up our conclusions now. So let's sum up the points at this time. We have little or no added cost, as old equipment will work with Ubuntu 16.4. The software needed is freeware, so we now have a cost savings there. Servers can be redeployed as backup servers, and all of these are pluses and reasons to switch to Ubuntu, which I am a big proponent of. I'd like to thank you for coming by today, and hopefully we'll be able to continue this and go on to a new and improved software platform. Thank you.